What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are headed for Shenandoah National Park. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. It's great to see you. So, what was it, 2 weeks ago? October 24th, I went up to Shenandoah National Park. It was the weekend before Halloween. Went up there because I knew that weekend the lighting conditions were going to be right at South River Falls, that the sun was going to come up through the valley. I have to admit that the pictures that I got were not as good as what I was hoping for. And the reason for that is because I didn't count on how the sun was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up through the valley, but it didn't hit how I thought it would. I had kind of already realized that was going to be the case before I went there, but I had committed to going there, and so I went ahead and went with it and looked through it, and they just didn't turn out, at least not the pictures that I really wanted. They didn't turn out how I wanted, but I was able to get some other stuff that day that I think was really good. And here we're gonna go look at those. I'm going to be in the field, and then I'm going to come back and offer some commentary on the pictures as I show them. So let's head to the field. What's up, everybody? So I'm here at Shenandoah National Park. It's in the evening. It's just about sunset, but I'm going to try to get a couple of pictures up here looking out over this valley. But what I'm actually here for is tomorrow morning, because I'm turning the wrong way. Amateur mistake. Oh boy. So what I'm here for is not the photograph right now, but tomorrow morning the sun rises right there. And so this whole valley is just going to be lit up by the sunrise. We should be able to see an actual sun out there in the distance. And so I'm hoping that's going to be really cool tomorrow morning. I am going to try to get some pictures right now where it's kind of misty over there in the distance, and let's see how those turn out. So for the first shot here, I'm looking at f9.5 and about 1/3 of a second, and we got my little remote, so let's take a look. So I've actually changed my settings to 3/4 of a second because I want to make sure I get enough. So f9.5, 3/4 of a second. That's about a stopover exposed using Portra 400. Let's see it. Let's have a look at these pictures that we've got here in video. This is the first one. This is the one I took in the evening, as you just saw in the video. I like how the colors came out on this one. You've obviously got some bare trees here in the foreground. I didn't have a lot of expectations for this one, actually, and it came out really good. This similar angle is going to be used for a picture that we see in just a minute here with a little bit different light on it, but I really, really like how the colors came here. I like how I put the mountain going almost all the way to the top of the frame there. And yeah, I really like this one. I like how the colors turned out. The waterfall is maybe 20 or 30 yards off the frame to the right. But yeah, really like this one. This was one of those images I didn't think a lot about. I think I took it just mostly because I've seen other people do it. I was like, oh, well, I saw the guy on the YouTube the other week take a picture of his lit up tent in the background just looking off at the sky. So I did it, but it actually turned out fairly well. If I remember, I took this with my iPhone using the long exposure night mode, so it would have been probably a 3-second exposure. But yeah, I actually like this. I like how the tent's in there, and then you can see the sky in the distance with the trees, and you can see the little lights from the cities and stuff in the distance. Good morning, everybody. I think this morning is going to be really good. Looking off down here. Maybe you can see it, although I don't know what the light coming off the camera is doing. Really nice red horizon starting to come up. You can see some mist down in the valley, some mist and some fog. So sunrise is in about 40 minutes from now. I just woke up and came down here to see how it was looking. So now I think I'm gonna go get my equipment, bring it down here, get ready for some photos. I think it's gonna be really awesome. So we're back out here again. It's getting a lot brighter. See a lot more of the mist down in the foreground. And I'm really liking how this is gonna look. I've got my camera. I've already taken some exposures. Been looking at like 8 to 15 seconds. That's it. F9.5. Same thing I was working on last night in those pictures you saw. And this is starting to look really stunning out here. All right, we're sitting here now about 15 minutes before sunrise. As you can see, the colors are getting really nice now. Starting to be able to see more detail here in all these foreground areas. And taking a few more pictures. Tried to play with the zoom range. I've gone all the way out to 28, gone into 90. And just seeing how it looks. Starting to be able to see some color in the foliage, like I said. And the fog is still down there in the valley. And I'm still thinking this is going to be really nice. Let's see some of the pictures I just took. Well, the sun's up. Terrible shame you can't see it in this camera view. I wish you could, but I got some pictures to show you. Let's take a look at them now. Well, this is the image that I came to get. You see the sun coming up right over there in the trees. It's pouring rain here at my house, so you can hear some of the rain coming down in the windows because my air conditioner is also broken, so I have to have the windows open. But anyway, back to the picture. Love the fog in the background. I think every time I've been at this overlook in the morning, there's been fog down here in the valley. You can see the sun coming up right there. This is one that I think I learned from because I had really planned on doing this picture for so long that I was like, well, I gotta do it. But I kind of knew going into it that pointing the camera directly at the sun is not really what you want to do. So that's where I ended up with this. I like how the sun's over there kind of peeking through the trees and the fog in the background, but the way the sun hit the trees in here, I didn't really like. I would like to come back here at sunrise again. Maybe I'll do that next fall and try to go somewhere else to be looking back at the waterfall, but we'll see how that goes. I do like this one. I'm not totally unimpressed with it, but it's not what I was hoping for, even though I do like it and it is pretty good. This image to me is really the best one that I got of the whole trip. The whole front of the frame has all the colors in it. If you're sharp-eyed, you will see down here, like lower part of the screen, there is some dust on there where I didn't clean my scanner bed. I'm not trying to be like a hipster film shooter who wants their negatives to look like they were dragged through their dryer's lint trap, but so I actually don't like that being there. You may not have even noticed, but you might have. So I actually don't like that being there because I didn't catch it when I edited it the first time. But I actually had to do a bit of work with this one in the scanner to get the sky to not be blown out coming out of the scanner, and then to get the right exposure here in the foreground. But I really like this one. I love how the colors were. This is from the same spot as the first image that I took. I just turned the camera maybe 20 degrees more to the right, and then got this one. But yeah, really like this one. Really impressed with this one. So this is the first waterfall picture that I took. This is like a little subsidiary, I don't think that's the right word, a feeder fall maybe for the main South River Falls, which is maybe 100 yards directly behind me as I'm taking this. Set this one on 2 seconds, and I got this. I got it just going back. Got the nice leaves laying here as they were. I wish I could have gotten up to like 4 seconds exposure to soften out the water and stuff just a little bit more. But overall, I am actually really impressed with this one. I like how it came out. I like some of the stuff in the background, how it doesn't just completely die. There is like interest back there at the top of the waterfalls. So yeah, I like this one. So I was driving. I'll have an ant on me, or a bug, pests. I was driving down Skyline Drive here in Shenandoah, and I saw that tree. Get the camera pointed at it, John. That tree, and I like how it's isolated. I like how there's a lot of fog here, and it's just that tree. So I'm going to try to do a little something here and get it to look good, because I really think there's something really cool here. So let's see how it goes. All right, here is the one of the tree. Yes, I did some edits to this one. I made the colors a little more vibrant, but you know, this is one of the ones where I tried to edit it for how I felt. And when I drove by, pretty much the only thing I could see was the yellow. I actually tried and I could never get it to look right. Basically, I wanted everything else almost black and then just the yellow leaves. And the reason I was doing that is as I drove by, I saw nothing but this yellow tree. I mean, it looked like there was a spotlight or the sun sitting over there in the trees. And so that's what I went out and tried to get. And I didn't say it in the clip, but I think this one was taken at about 200 millimeters. You can see some of the colors in the background, and obviously you have the very prominent tree. I think that's some kind of oak tree, but I'm not a horticulturist or whatever that word is. I'm not that good at identifying trees. But anyway, so this one, yeah, I really liked how the tree popped out of the background, and it seemed like there was nothing there, and I really wanted to isolate the tree from the rest of the background. So this one I actually took from an overlook, and you have the few little pine, fir, whatever these evergreen trees are, and then you just have nothing but colors, oranges, yellows, reds, all over the place. And this one was shot at almost certainly 300 millimeters. I would have zoomed all the way out to get the side of the mountain. And I really like how this one looks. And yeah, I really like this one. This was not something I was expecting to be able to get, but it was there and I got it, and I really like this one. Welcome back. I'm on the way to Hazel Falls. Ended up having to go a different way. The traditional, I guess you would say, trailhead was full. There was no place to park, so I had to come back up Skyline Drive. I don't know, maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, and park at one of the overlooks. And then there's sort of a secondary trail, less traveled, that links up down here, and that's the way I'm going. So There's been a couple places down here that would have had some nice woodland compositions that I wanted to hang around and wait for them or look for them, but whew, gassed. But I didn't want to wait for them because I'm just trying to get down to the waterfall and the caves, and I want to see what's down there. But this is actually a quite scenic trail that I haven't seen anyone else on. I wanted to be on the trail going down to Hazel Falls at noontime, and it's noontime now, and I'm about 3/4 of a mile in, so that's actually pretty good. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. I want to try to be out of the park by 4 p.m. I want to try to catch a sunset somewhere not in the park. So I'll hike a little bit more, and if I see a picture, I'll stop and take it, maybe do a video on that. But probably the next time I see you will be down at the waterfall, Hazel Falls. All right, here we are. Right, get your finger in the right place, John. Yes, right there. Hazel Falls, or at least part of it. It goes from there down in front of me here, and then around and keeps going down the hill. I have to admit, I'm a little bit unimpressed. Not quite what I was thinking. I mean, it's fun, and I guess the part right here behind me would be a really good composition if you wanted to get your feet wet, because you would need to go over there. You can see this big rock. There's a kind of a platform sort of over behind it, and you could be over there, and I think that would actually be a really nice picture looking up there, but I have to walk back to the car, and I don't really want to do that with wet feet, and I don't have a change of shoes with me, so I can't get over there. But I think that might be the nicest composition out here, especially if you were out here about 5 days ago when there was more color up in those trees. As far as the caves, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, there is one. It's just right over there, maybe 50 yards from where I'm from, but I mean, I guess it's the kind of place where young people or the young at heart could go make out or whatever, but as far as a cave, it only goes about 10 or 20 yards deep, probably 10 actually, and that's about all there is to it. It just goes straight back in the rocks. I mean, it's not bad. Like I say, if you wanted to walk down here with your special friend and make out in there, that would probably be pretty fun. But as far as a cave goes, I don't know. But anyway, it is nice down here. I've got to start getting back to the car. It's a little bit after 2 p.m. and I want to try to be back to the car by like 4:30. I'll turn so you can see this nice waterfall behind me here. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. I took some pictures down below me here, and I'll show a few of those. I know they're going to take some work because to get enough exposure, I wanted to expose for 2 seconds, and to get that I had to go all the way up on the f-stop. I think I was at 22, might have even been 27, and then I still had to overexpose by 4 stops, so I'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully they look good. I usually don't do that. I don't try to expose by 4 stops, overexpose by 4 stops. But yeah, that's it from here. It is a nice place. I would recommend you come here, but keep your expectations right. You know, like I say, it does have caves, but It's not like going to someplace out in the Rockies, someplace that they're really deep and all that, and the waterfalls are just kind of slow, kind of cascading, and they do go on for quite a ways, but it's definitely not one big rapid waterfall. So this is the first shot from down at Hazel Falls. The little clip that I made, this rock that's up in the top right, I was actually standing on the top of that rock when I just did the little video clip. And so this is basically what I was looking at. I was looking down at this. Same as the waterfall picture before. I wish I could have got just a bit more time, but again, this is the one I said I had to overexpose for 4 seconds, and I was at f 27, something like that. But yeah, I really enjoy this one. I like it. I like how I was able to get the waterfall actually just going out of the frame, so you don't know what's going on back there, and it just keeps going. Yeah, I like this. So this one here I actually like for another reason. It's the same picture, just zoomed in, composed a little bit differently, but you still see the waterfall going out the back. But this one, just the way it exposed the colors differently. And so I was able to get a much more vibrant color scheme out of this one with minimal editing, and really got the water nice and smooth here. Yeah, I like this one. It's really nice. So these next two, they were completely unplanned. I hiked out and I was exhausted, but I got up to the overlook at, the Pinnacles overlook, and this is what I saw. The light was hitting here. You've got all these fall colors in the trees just lit up like they're on fire. Not literally on fire, of course, but obviously didn't make any videos for this one, or I would have showed it. There were too many people there really to make videos, and I was exhausted, so I was really just trying to get in the car. But you know, I knew I had to get the pictures, so I put the mountain prominent right in the center of the frame, and then tried to get just a little bit of sky. It was very foggy, very overcast, so there was really no detail in the sky, and it just sort of faded out. That's why the detail fades out here. I probably shot this on f/16. This was probably at 200, 250 millimeters, because this is quite a distance away. But yeah, loved how the colors turned out on this one. So this one was looking straight out. This would have been actually the first image that I saw, but the colors were not as vibrant. The way the sun hit this one was not as good as the way it hit that, as the previous image. With the previous one, what you had was the sun hitting it at an angle, and with this one, basically the sun is looking straight into what we're seeing here. And so there was not much, actually no, I'm sorry, the sun would have been completely at an angle, like from this way. So it wouldn't have really been doing much. Plus the sun was in and out of the clouds, so there really wasn't much to see. And then you can see the mountains sort of just layering back into the distance. Really like this one. Like how the mountains do like a V as they go across the background, and just a lot of stuff. Well, here's the fantastic cave that I described. I took this one with flash. I think I had it on the 17 millimeter setting on my iPhone, and I just popped the flash, and this is what we got. So it is tall enough in the back that you can stand up, but you definitely have to bend over, unless you're 4 feet tall or whatever. You don't have to get down on like your hands and knees and stuff to get in here. You can actually walk in, but yeah, there's not much to it. There is supposed to be a second cave down there somewhere, but I couldn't find it, and I was just trying to get out of there. So here's the cave. All right, so that's it. That's the trip to Shenandoah. I hope you enjoyed the video. Next week, the video will be reviewing a roll of film that I shot basically to do an image test on my lenses, because I've had some images come out that I'm not really impressed with the sharpness of them. So I want to give a test for my lenses to see if something's wrong with the lens, or if maybe I just didn't have enough shutter speed, or what the deal is. So that's what next week's going to be. I'm going to look at that roll and I'm going to see how the lenses turned out. I'm glad you watched. If you want to give me a follow on Instagram, it's at jkmore1120. I'd appreciate it. Please like and follow the channel, and we'll see you again next week.